This time, are we talking about quality nominees?
According to this, you're going to take trans women and put them in male prisons.
And you said if I could have, I would have never gone to Washington, D.C. Those were your words.
Yeah, no, but
did you mean that?
No, I didn't mean it.
You have a Donald Trump that is being inaugurated in the very same Capitol where January 6ers, less than 24 hours ago, under the law, were considered dangerous felons.
Joy Reid, well, I have sympathy for her because I know how I would feel if Kamala Harris won this election. I'd probably be coming unglued going, ooh, we in trouble. And Joy Reid is on the other side. She has told herself over and over again that Trump is Hitler and that it's over. So she's acting like a person who thinks it's over. She's wrong. She's going to have a great time in America for 4 years. I mean, I think she's going to do great. But here she is, freaking out at the Trump inauguration when he was meeting Joe Biden for tea. I didn't realize guys did this, but I guess they do. Let's watch.
You know, I was talking with Michael Steele, former RNC chair, outside. When Trump came in the first time.
Hold on. Michael Steele, yes, he was the former RNC chair, but they always use that when they bring up a Republican who's basically a Rhino or a Democrat like Michael Steele, and they say former RNC chair, as if he's MAGA, as if he's a patriot, as if he's pro-America, as if he's a neutral observer of Trump, when we know Michael Steele is like Trump anti-nuts.
I obviously was not a fan, had never been a fan. I didn't even watch The Apprentice, so I wasn't a fan. But I had to admit that, you know what, Mark Milley, that's a brilliant dude. You know, so some of the people in his cabinet, they seem pretty normal. I haven't gotten to know Olivia Troy. It's a brilliant, that's a upstanding, good person. This time, are we talking about quality nominees? Marco Rubio is the best choice of all of them.
That already scares me about Marco Rubio.
Go down the list of the people. It's no longer a content of their character or great meritocracy. Now it is people Trump likes to see on television. It's people he thinks will praise him. It's people who will give him what he wants and allow him to do to the American people, to immigrants whom Jesus loved.
She brings up Jesus. To immigrants who Jesus loved. Did Jesus only love immigrants? Did he not love MAGA people? Did he love coal miners? Did he love truckers? Just immigrants, according to Joy. I love this. They're throwing credibility at these people. Just going, I used to, Trump picked Mark Milley and, as long as he was stabbing Trump in the back, she's not fooling me. But then she goes, what they're going to do to immigrants who Jesus loved? Jesus loved prostitutes and tax collectors. He loved the thief on the cross.
He's supposed to be the great Christian president who is...
Come on, I can't stop. He's supposed to be the great Christian president. Well, Biden was a pretty good atheist president, if you ask me. This is like this is really hateful stuff. He's supposed to be the Christian president, and now he has lost? I don't even know if Trump's a Christian, by the way. Okay, I've never made that. I've talked about it. I have not heard him make a testimony. He did say saved by God, but that does not mean that saved by Christ, like saying his name. He could just be, like Thomas Jefferson, just merely a deist.
Promising to attack immigrants. Trans people who are already vulnerable. These are
not promised to attack them. He said, we're not giving them special favors anymore. Joy Reid, man, she is really trying to drum it up. Which person is she going to convince with this stuff other than people that are already in her audience? No one's going to believe you, Joy.
Some of the executive orders, the cruelty is the point of this coming administration.
Now that's another thing. The cruelty is the point, as if, yay, Trump loves breaking illegals' hearts. Yay, Trump. You know what's cruel? What your party did to the J6ers, like not putting them in jail for 22 years for trespassing. We can go cruel tit for tat all day, but even I wouldn't say that the point of the people that prosecuted the J6ers was they wanted to be cruel or they got off on being cruel. In their mind, I believe they were thinking justice or we have to do this or whatever, but I don't, like you really hate your opponent to only give them evil motive. Like I said at the start of the show, Joy Reid, her heart's broken that her person, Kamala, the savior of the world, didn't get elected. And Trump, the person that she has convinced herself as a dictator and a totalitarian that he is now the president. I can project that onto her and have a little empathy, feel bad for her. Because like I said, I know what that would feel like. But to say that your goal is cruelty, maybe she does want to be cruel to MAGA people. I don't even like putting that thought in my mind.
Very hard for me to look at this spectacle of the takeover of the United States.
Takeover.
By a base mentality of greed and corruption and say the institutions will save us because they've not done well for us so far.
That he took a presidency. We voted for him. It was a vote. Okay, now we have Joy Reid doing the DEI thing on Trump removing diversity, equity, and inclusion from the government.
Overturn the Constitution to do his evil and wrongness.
Let's put some stuff up here. He was very excited about the end diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in the federal government. What's the impact?
Yeah, so that's obviously very bad. It's particularly evil to. I always think of prisoners, people who are incarcerated who have changed, who have transitioned. According to this, you're going to take trans women and put them in male prisons. What do we?
That is just to clarify to you guys, that means putting a biological male who has transitioned into what they think a woman is, a female is, and put him into a male prison. So what you have is the accusation is there's a whole lot of men that don't want to go to a men's prison. So they start acting like a woman. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to make those kinds of accusations. I'm only saying this is only a problem that's come up in the last couple of years. And remember, that was part of why Kamala lost the election, is because she said that they would pay for these surgeries for criminals or for people in jail.
What do you think is going to happen to them there?
Yeah.
That's not going to be a good day.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a thing that has real impact. There's also a real obvious equal protection challenge. And so again, Trump will do this. He will be sued. This is one of the ones that could be, if not completely stopped, delayed, but there will be people who suffer unconscionable pain because of what he's doing, and not in the kind of like, somebody just called, Gracie George. No. These are people who are going to be hurt and physically assaulted because of Trump's executive order.
Two of the renamings, we were talking about it in the break, rename Mount Denali back to Mount McKinley, just as it's not.
There's the renaming of Mount McKinley, which Murkowski just came out today and opposed. I don't know how much say Murkowski has. Apparently she has something, but she said that she opposed the renaming of Mount McKinley. I mean, it's not a big deal to me. Now, that it's bad when Saturday Night Live is starting to just smear MSNBC. I hope you haven't seen this one yet. This is really good.
I mean, Trump is already talking about invading Canada and Greenland. Is he serious, or is that one of his distractions? I mean, what do you think, Joy?
I don't know. I can't tell if you're doing the news or trying to hook up. What do you think, Rachel?
Oh, well, I'm not Rachel. I'm Chris Hayes.
Huh. One thing I do know is this time around, we're not going to get sucked in by every new shiny, crazy statement from Trump.
And they already did. She was cracking up at the end there because she could not hold it together. And then here's the last one. Again, this is over the controversy of Trump pardoning all those 1,500 J6ers.
Do you have any regrets at all from
No
that day?
regrets at all.
No regrets.
Zero.
The
I'll
last
do it all over again.
The last time you and I talked was exactly almost 2 years ago, and you specifically said, I regret going that day, and you said, if I could have, I would have never gone to Washington, D.C. Those were your words.
Yeah, no,
Did you mean that?
No, I didn't mean it.
He didn't mean it, and so now they don't need to mean it.
He didn't mean it, and I want to remind people of what he did, right? Gabriel is someone that live streamed himself storming the Capitol on January 6th. He's someone that, as he was live streaming himself, you can see him interfering with Capitol police officers. He's also someone that you can see him in the rotunda, not just using very aggressive language, insulting police officers, but also calling Nancy Pelosi by her name, saying, Nancy, come out and play. And so just to give people a sense of what is about to happen, someone like him that was, like I said before, sentenced to a year in prison, that was supposed to surrender himself, Joy, in February, it's very likely that he will never serve his time. So I think, to me, today, all of that perfectly captures the moment we're in. You have a Donald Trump that is being inaugurated in the very same Capitol where January 6ers, less than 24 hours ago, under the law, were considered dangerous felons. And today, in a place like Miami-Dade County, they are considered heroes, not patriots, héroes, no? Like that's one of the words that they kept saying. And so that to me captures what we're living.
Well, I do think there's one man's freedom fighter is another man's hero, they say. And by the way, this is what happens when your justice system is so screwed up that people are willing to say anything to get out of it. So he said, when they interviewed him 2 years ago, he said, I didn't mean any of it. I wish I didn't go to J6. That's what you'll say when you're stuck in when they're going to put you in solitary confinement and not give you a trial and nail you for 4 years. So this Joy Reid, I hate to say it, but I'm happy that she's unhappy. I don't want to live in her world. I don't want to live in the country of her creation and of her party's creation. America had an incredible reset. It's like we woke up from a coma where the left just went completely nuts for 4 years. They lied about it. People like MSNBC carried their message, did the cover up, and the people rejected it and said, no, we're taking our country back. That's good news for us. Bad news for Joy Reid. I'll only say to Joy Reid, hang out in America for a little longer and see if things don't get better. You might actually enjoy what we're going to do. I'm Doug in exile.